One. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Preloved Chica show. And today I have a very special guest with me. Big drum roll, Billy Bragg. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Elene. How are you?
I am very, very good indeed. Now, today, what we're going to talk about is we're not going to talk about music. No. We're not going to talk about politics.
No.
We're going to talk about clothes. And the thing about clothes is that I've just been researching and finding out about the horrors of how much of our clothing goes into landfill. It's something like 350,000 tons a year of clothes in the UK going to landfill.
That's terrible. That's really awful. Makes me feel a lot better wearing second-hand clothes now.
Well, I tell you what, between us, we can make this whole thing. That's what I'm on a mission to do, to make like secondhand clothes stylish, you know, to make it, you know, attractive. So, you know, sort of start a movement, if you like. So, you know, I know you and I met in the summer at Maverick.
We did a Maverick festival. That's right. It was rather sunny, wasn't it? A bit too hot. And you very kindly gave me that cowboy hat.
I did. No such thing as a free hat.
Exactly. So I did promise I'd come and talk to you. You did want a bit for vintage clothing, so I did promise I'd come and talk to you on your Preloved Chica.
Oh, I know, and I'm so grateful because you're somebody who's out there. People follow you, and you know. And
I'm out here. That's true. I'm out here somewhere.
You're out there somewhere in gloomy. Where are you speaking?
West Dorset. I am West Dorset. It's a bit of an overcast day today.
Yeah.
Right, you know, the summer, Indian summer's come to an end, and we're starting now on a kind of like a drab kind of autumnal.
I know. And the thing is as well, mind you, we get an extra hour tonight, so that's good. What are you going to do with your extra hour?
Oh, that's very exciting. I haven't thought about that. I think I'll usually go around and spend time climbing around the house fixing all the clocks. It takes me about an hour.
Indeed. Well, look, so we met at Maverick and we got chatting about your trip to America. And that's what I'd love to talk to you about today. I'd like to, you know, find out about, you know, the clothes that you've picked up there. So can you tell me about your America? How many times have you been to America, first of all?
Well, I've been going to America since 1984, and I average about 2 times a year, so quite a few times.
Wow.
Different parts as well. I mean, it's, you know, it's not always the same bit. It's all over the place.
Yeah. So I've got a brother in America. I've been a few times. He's on the West Coast, California. But where do you tend to go?
Well, I'm kind of all over. I go, you know, I mean, last year I did some extensive tours. Started in Chicago, went to Pittsburgh, over to New York, and then up the East Coast into Canada, through maritime Canada, and finished in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Wow.
So, you know, I do get around. In fact, interesting thing, it took us 10 hours to fly to Chicago at the start, and it only took us 5 hours to fly on from St. John's. So I guess we drove halfway home. I guess that's how the tour went.
Wow, brilliant. And you picked up some clothes along the way?
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about going to small towns in the Canadian Maritimes, you know, we went to places like Anne of Green Gables place, Prince Edward Island, that's right, Prince Edward Island, and places I had never really been before. And it's those kind of towns where you can find interesting second-hand clothes. Right. When I first went to America in 1984, I used to look for record shops. And then after I got too many records, I used to go and look for bookshops, find interesting books there, but they just get a bit too heavy and I don't read them all. So then after that, I used to spend my time walking around trying to find something to get online. That's always quite interesting. And now I go around looking for vintage clothing stores. You have to keep yourself busy on tour. Otherwise you end up getting either very, very bored or picking up some nasty habit that you don't really need.
So you go shopping for second-hand clothes?
Shopping is my drug, yeah. Well, it always has been. No, it's a great way of exploring because the second-hand record stores tend to be in a groovy part of town, as did the really interesting bookshops, as did the internet cafes, and as do the vintage record shops. So you always, you know, you should probably walk there as well and you might see something. So it's a good way of just exploring, particularly if you haven't been to a town before, it's a good way of exploring
I like that. And some of the things I've got this one coat that I got from Ross-on-Wye. I was passing through Ross-on-Wye, a charity shop there, and I love it. And it's so special. And I remember that place. I remember the day.
And the shirt. Well, I want to talk to you about this shirt I'm wearing, because this is what I'm generally looking for. This is a Pendleton shirt, which is a wool shirt, and it's made in Oregon. I'll stand up there so you can see what a lovely check it is.
Oh,
and if I step back a little bit, you can see it's got a sort of square bottom here. Can you see that?
I can.
Yeah, instead of a tail, it's got a square bottom. And they're called surf shirts. I don't think they made them, it's wool. They didn't originally make them as shirts for surfers, but surfers did pick them up because they're nice and warm when you come out to sea. And I really love them. They're often this sort of nice, soft check colour. And you can usually find them in most vintage shops in America. And they have some lovely sort of pale colour ones that I try and seek out. And they're my sort of aim. But over the years, I've also become enamoured of pearl snap shirts, which is kind of like if you know what a pearl snap is.
No, I don't. Have you got a sample? You haven't got one you're going to whip up and show me?
Yeah. I think I was wearing this one when we met.
Ah.
Which is a real beauty. Now, pearl snap is a little thing like, oh, I'm just trying to get it up to the camera.
Get up to the camera, hold it still.
Like this. Can you see that's pearl?
Yes.
And then it goes.
Ah.
Like a little press stud.
Yes.
See, this is the classic cowboy shirt. It's got a lovely yoke on it, which is this bit here. The yoke is kind of like a flowery hippie colour, and it's got some lovely braiding along here as well. And on the back, it's light. It's nylon. It's really light, and it's made by a company called Pardner, Pardner. They're still going, but one of the. Do you
think that is old? Do you think that you've had? Do you think that's a very old shirt?
Oh, probably 70s.
Okay.
Wow. It might be old for some of your viewers, but it's not old for me. I remember the 70s. This is a very similar one. This is a shirt very similar to the shirts I used to buy in the 70s. Actually, this one, there was a kind of fad when I was at school for shirts with, again, this is the yoke at the top here, so called the pale yoke, but they tended to have penny round collars when I was at school. This is a great one for gigs because it's got a bit of, it's black and moody, but it's got this lovely pale kind of desert yoke. Again, it's press studs. Again, snaps on it. And this is by a company called Plains. So this is a label. I really like Plains. I think they're very simple. Again, nylon shirt. But this is made for the Sears and Roebuck catalogue.
Okay.
It's my understanding. And they make lovely single colour pearl snap shirts that I like. I'm wearing one in my recent live DVD live at the Union Chapel. I'm wearing a Plains. It's kind of like a bright sort of crimson colour.
Is that your Union Chapel gig that's coming up now?
I played there a couple of years ago and we recorded a live DVD there.
Okay, yeah.
I'm wearing it there, which means I can't wear it other places once you've worn it on a DVD. Otherwise, I'm on Question Time this week on BBC. I'll probably wear it there because it's such a great. But everyone goes, he's only got one shirt.
You stand out. Now, listen, I've got lots of questions. So let me
show you a couple more shirts first, though.
Let's go for it.
This is a Pendleton.
Another Pendleton.
But this is a Pendleton with pressed pearl snaps. This is kind of double whammy for me. And I picked it up from Fiverr last year in Manchester. It's got proper tail on it, this one. It's not a square bottom one. It's more of a cowboy shirt. But it's really got a lovely old cowboy Pendleton label. This is not a standard label.
Hold it still for a little while so we can see. I've got it. Yeah.
And it's got this lovely in the top, which you don't get on the one that I'm wearing. But on the top of this one, it's got a lovely bit of sort of silk in the top there. Can you see there? Look, around the top, around your shoulders, and in the collar. Beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Lovely. It's a really lovely.
Beautiful.
I was doing a gig in Manchester, and I was wandering around in the morning, and I went down to the Museum of People's History, and it just so happened there's an old building next door that they had a vintage clothing sale, and I went in there and got that. I tried wearing it though; it looks too much like my complexion, so I look kind of pale on pale, blonde on blonde, sort of pale. But recently, I've started to really get into into corduroy.
Oh dear!
This is a lovely corduroy. Again, it's white. These are white pearl snaps. It's corduroy. It's got a slight yoke on it there. I think you can see. Might be just better to make the lines out.
Come into the camera a bit more and hold it.
Yoke. Just sit.
Yes, I can see that now.
Across the back. So it's got those things. It's a lovely corduroy colour. So I'm having to be careful. You know how people do double denim?
Yeah.
Sometimes accidentally do double corduroy. I put a corduroy shirt on.
Yeah, that's a bit too much. Where did you get that one from?
I got this one in. I got this one on tour this year actually, and we'd done a gig somewhere, and the mic. I think it might have broken a mic or left a mic behind. And on the way out of town, we had to find a shop that sell mics, and we went all the way around. I can't remember what. Somewhere in the West Midlands. We went all around the houses, and then we found this shop. And next to it, there was a vintage clothes store. So we all went in there and picked up a load of stuff.
That's the thing. I always find whenever I go into a pre-loved shop or a charity shop, I can always find something.
Always something.
Look at this, my new jacket.
I like that. That's very.
It's vinyl as well. It's not even leather.
Now winter's coming. I'm starting to wear these big coats. This is like a car coat, which goes over the top of everything.
Yes.
And I love this because it's kind of biscuity.
Yes.
You know, we don't often get stuff anymore these days that's kind of biscuity, but this is wonderfully biscuity.
Oh, what a lovely word, biscuity. I've never described any of my clothing as biscuity. I like it.
It's kind of like slightly rough to the touch. And it's got lovely biscuity colour, these lovely slightly blue shades. And this goes right over the top of it. You know, I'll put this shirt on and I'll put a jacket over that, and this will go over the top of it. But my proper winter find, and I've got some dates in Scotland coming up. End of November, early December. It's going to be a bit nippy. But a couple of years ago in Bristol, I found this, which is brilliant. I
was going to say, what's your favourite item? Now you are now going to show me this. So you've got this in Bristol.
It's a Swedish Army overcoat. Oh. I know that because it's got 3 little crowns on the buttons, which is the symbol of the Swedish.
I can't see that.
No, you can't see that. But it's really coarse. It's like a donkey jacket, but it's long. It covers your bum. It's got it's got 2 pockets on the bum, on the arse here. I don't know why.
That is so weird. That is the weirdest thing. That is the thing. That is the beauty of this way of shopping. No one else is going to have anything like that, Billy.
Well, this gets to the nub of it.
Yes.
Elaine, why do I go and buy my shirts in vintage stores in America and not go and buy them in new stuff in the West End? Because if you buy them in vintage stores, the chances of anybody else wearing it are very slim.
Absolutely.
I also buy, I'm very fond of, in America, some hardware stores sell T-shirts with the name of the hardware store, and nobody in Burton Bradstock is going to be wearing Sam's Hardware from Ann Arbor, or the coffee shop has a T-shirt, or it might be the Army and Navy store has a T-shirt. I'm always on the lookout for obscure T-shirts that aren't going to have the Nike swoosh on them.
I have to show you something now. We're talking T-shirts. Now I have to show you this. I went to see my friend Martin this morning, and he actually said, "Oh, I'll let you borrow this." He said, "You can borrow it." And this is when you were playing in Ipswich in 1986 in the Ipswich Gaumont.
Gaumont, yeah, the mighty Gaumont. That would have been a great night because I've got aunties up near Ipswich. They would have all been there. What's on the front? What's the front picture?
The front is...
that's a great pic. That
Have Guitar Will Travel.
That's a great pic. That's based on the cover of the back of the sleeve of Talking with a Taxman About Poetry, which is a photograph of me walking through the snow in East Berlin in 1985, carrying a guitar which got my name stenciled on it. I'm on my way to do a gig in a light bulb factory.
Yeah. Wow.
When I was in East Germany, all the clothing that I got in East Germany, I got off Russian soldiers. I used to come back with Russian soldiers' hats and belts with a big buckle with a hammer and sickle on, and sometimes you might get a tunic or something, and you could get these in exchange for music cassettes. That's what I wanted.
You've always loved Preloved then. This is not a new thing for you. You've been doing
it's a punk thing, I think. It comes from punk. I think in the days of punk, it became groovy to be wearing stuff from the Oxfam shop, and the weirder the better. Me and my friends were in a little band, and we moved into East Northamptonshire. There was a little studio there, and we moved there, and they had a couple of charity shops in that town, and they had really great stuff in them. Sort of off the shelf weird suits, old collarless shirts, stuff like that. I really like wearing that stuff.
Do you know, I wasn't going to show you this, but I think I'm going to have to. I met somebody in Japan this year who knew Joe Strummer, and he gave me a t-shirt. It's not a Joe Strummer t-shirt, but this is the guy, Chris Pendleton. It's an original Vivienne Westwood.
How brilliant.
Marilyn Monroe.
That's lovely.
And he said, I'm never going to sell it. It was very special to him, and now he's given it to me. So
how sweet that is. My partner has some Vivienne Westwood stuff from when she was a punk rocker. And also she worked very closely. She managed one of the two-tone bands, the Selector. And so she has a two-tone tour jacket, which we have hidden away upstairs, which she could probably make a fortune on eBay, but she could never part with it.
No, this is the thing. It's never going to be parted with. So now I've got a few questions. First of all, Nikki is saying, how many pairs of shoes and boots do you have? I don't know if she means pre-loved or just generally. Not many really. I mean, I wear a pair of boots called Blundstones, which come from Tasmania. And they're kind of like, they're sort of elasticated side boots. There you go. That's what they look like. They're like elasticated DMs, but they're a bit more comfortable. I did buy some, when I started doing the Americana stuff with tooth and nail, I did buy some nice sort of cowboy style boots, but the heels were just so hard. I was waking up in the morning with me back like, I can't be walking around all day with those on. That's why she asked. I think she's got a few pairs of cowboy boots. You see, she's a bit of a, I'm on eBay. And
I would like to have worn these. Were Australian range boots. They weren't cowboy boots, so they look kind of cowboy. They were really, really nice. I'll think of the name of the company in a minute. I'll miss them now, but I'll pick them up over there. But these Blundstones they're really hard wearing, and
they probably last you for a long time. You probably don't.
They do on the road, through. I usually buy one they usually last me at least 2 winters.
Yeah. Okay, look, so what else have we got here? We've got a question. Let's have a look. What do you do with your old clothes?
Well, my partner, Juliet, has 5 siblings.
Right.
And one of them's male and the other one, and then I've got a load of brother-in-laws. And they're all, they're always, when they come round, ask me if I've got any old shirts. So I just pass them on. And they come round and I think, oh, that's a great shirt. And then I realise, oh yeah, I know you got that.
Oh yeah.
And it's cool. It's totally cool. My stepson, he really likes these Pendleton shirts.
Yes.
He's sort of I'm XL in Pendleton, so he's XL as well. So I get some and I pass them on to him. They never go to, none of this stuff ever goes to a charity shop. It's always friends.
That's brilliant.
Family takeaway. In fact, Juliet is the worst for jackets. I buy jackets in America at home, and she just takes them, wears them, and I don't get to. She just claims them. Some of the nice Pendletons as well. Some of the nice Pendletons I brought back with her. She's that will fit me, wouldn't it? And that's it. Gone then. It's in the other wardrobe, and I'm not allowed to wear it. So I can't help having such wonderful taste.
You have. Now then, listen, Steve's asked a long question, but I'm going to read it because I think it's quite relevant. I think second-hand clothes, he says, can avoid waste, conserve resources, raise money for charity. Also, you get quality stuff at low prices, which reduces the need to buy cheaper new things, like those awful cheap shops. And those clothes are more likely to be made in poor working condition. There's also something about feeling more comfortable in clothes that are broken in.
Yeah.
And maybe keeping my ego in check, he says too. So why does a successful musician buy secondhand clothes?
Well, for all the reasons I've touched on, it gives me something to do when I'm on tour. It stops me looking like identity. I mean, as I say, I'm on Question Time on BBC, BBC One on this week, coming up on Thursday, and my job on there will be not to look like a politician. The clothes I choose will be specifically so I don't look like. However, when I'm with a load of rock stars, my aim is not to look like a bloody rock star. So buying vintage clothes kind of helps. You don't want to end up looking a bit bono. If you know what I mean.
That is so funny.
You know what I mean? So yeah. there's that. But also, I think, you know, I've found that these old clothes, particularly the Pendletons, they're not going to last forever. You know, if they've survived this long, all right, they might have a moth hole in the back. Just don't wear a white T-shirt. No one's going to see it. They're such lovely, lovely, beautifully cut clothes as well. I mean, particularly these square-bottomed, surfer shirts. If, like me, you have a fuller figure, they'll hide a multitude of sins.
Oh, that's great. Now, we have got more questions, but we're coming to the end of the time together. And, you know, I must say, I'm really so appreciative of you coming on this show today, because your passion for your clothes is evident. I really got very enthusiastic, and I loved some of the things that you shared with us. And, you know, what I want to say to anyone listening today, you know, find out more about the whole movement. There's a whole website called loveyourclothes.org.uk, where it's really trying to encourage people to keep clothes out of landfill, pass them on to friends. That's what you do, Billy, or your family. Take them to the charity shop, organise swishing parties, and there's so many other tips and advice on there. So go and check out that website. And, you know, I'm going to just ask you one final thing before we wrap up, Billy. Where are you off to next? I know you said about Question Time, but what else is happening for you this autumn?
Well, I've got a couple of shows at the Union Chapel in London, and then I've got a Scottish tour, some Scottish dates I'm really, really looking forward to. Often when you tour around the UK, you only might get to do Glasgow and Edinburgh, maybe even just one of those, which is a bit shameful. So the opportunity of the Union Chapel shows, I thought, where haven't I been for a while that I really would like to go and do a bit? So we're heading now up north of the Central Belt, all the way up to Aberdeen, Inverness, Stirling. I think we're going to. It's basically just a few blokes in a van for a week, but it'll be in December, so it'll be beautiful up there.
Oh, great!
And I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh, well, thank you for taking time out of your really busy schedule for joining me today. I really appreciated it. So thanks, everybody. Do come back next time. Till then, bye for now.
Bye.